Welcome to the first installment of the Wealth and Freedom Network Tips and Tools for Your Success. My name is Jonathan Chapman, and I get to serve as the host today. Joining me today are my mentors and fellow leaders with Wealth and Freedom Network, Mr. Christopher Collins and Mr. Quentin Rogers. Both of them have a wealth of knowledge and experience to share with you today because of the success that they've been having with helping individuals turn their financial futures around. So welcome, gentlemen, to the Wealth and Freedom Network Tips and Tools for Your Success broadcast.
Absolutely. Excited to be here.
Thank you.
Definitely. We've got some great information to share with everyone today. So how about we just go ahead and jump into it?
Absolutely.
So I have a couple of questions that I'll just go through and ask you. Let's start with the problem, because obviously the reason that we're talking about finances is because finances is one of the major areas where people have issues.
Mm-hmm.
So what's one of the biggest mistakes that people make with their money?
Well, in my opinion, one of the biggest mistakes that people make with their money is simply not watching it. Today, especially in this time of electronic money, it is so easy for us to buy things and do things electronically and really not keep an eye on where our dollars are going. And so it becomes very important in this day that we don't use antiquated and traditional methods of tracking our finances. We really need to be able to have the tools that allow us to track our finances the same way that we're utilizing our finances, which is electronically. And so that's, for me, that's one of the biggest mistakes, just not keeping an eye on our dollars.
I agree. I think that watching is very important. I know for myself, when coming to a place where you really want to desire to manage your finances the best way possible, I think one of the biggest problems people have is not having a plan about their finances. We just kind of take a really casual approach towards our finances. We just, take for granted that the paycheck's going to come in, that the bills are going to stay the same, that there won't be any emergencies that come up. And so a lot of us just don't simply have a plan. I think that's a really, really big setback for a lot of us.
Okay, so from your experience and from the time that you've been working with other people, how much money would you say the average person would need to really make a difference in their lives? Like how much money would make a difference? How much money would change some things and help people really kind of get from behind the eight ball to start getting ahead in life?
Well, I think that really to help people have a significant impact, to really turn things around, I think the government really reported it best. That just an additional $500 a month would have helped a lot of people to keep their homes. Back when the economy took a downturn, and I just know personally from my own experience that an additional $500 to $600 a month, since being partnered with the Wealth and Freedom Network, it has really been a tremendous help, and really to help my family and I get some things on track. And so I think for many people that is a significant amount of money to really help themselves out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Excellent. And that's really not a lot of money. You would think that it would be more, that the numbers would be a little bit higher than that. So for individuals who are working with you in the Wealth and Freedom Network, how much time do you really anticipate it takes for someone to be able to make that turn?
Mm-hmm.
How quickly can somebody expect to be able to get things to start turning around?
Well, although there's really no magic formula or magic pill to get into that number, with the plan that we offer, people can really see benefits in their own lives in a relatively short amount of time. Some almost immediately. I mean, we've been able to help people to be able to pay down debt, to eliminate debt. I've seen people be able to walk off of jobs, all within a 12-month period of time. Now, that does differ with each individual, because you get out of something what you put into something. But the truth of the matter is, for those who want it, it is absolutely available.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right. So I know we heard you guys mention a couple of times the plan that you utilize to help people get their financial life under control.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about the plan. What's the plan that you guys actually push to help the average person get control of their financial situation?
Well, the plan that we use here at Wealth and Freedom Network really is a really simple plan. We really help people to first do, as Mr. Collins had mentioned, start to watch their money. That's the first
Mhm.
step that we take. Once we help them to watch their money, we say, okay, we want to help you to establish a plan to do that. Once we help them to establish a plan, we really get them in the habit of one, stop adding new debt. Get them to a place where we say, we're not going to add any new debt to what you already have. We start to say, okay, where can we start to plug up some of those financial leaks? Extra spending that we do each and every single month that we really don't realize that we do. Once we help them to stop adding new debt, we help them to restructure. To restructure their money to say, okay, what little extra do I have each month that I can take and put towards paying off some debt faster. And then once we help them to begin to pay off their debt faster, we really help them to roll those payments over into larger amounts of debt that they may have, again, to help them to pay them off faster. And then the last thing that we want to do is really to help them to be able to save money. Save money on things that they do each and every single day, on their shopping, on their current spending. And then lastly, help put them in a position where they can earn some extra income. Because at the end of the day, the money that we have is what we use. But, most of us can admit that we could use a few extra dollars each and every single month. So we really want to help people to do three basic things. Again, save money, better manage the money that they already have in their current spending. But then lastly, put them in a position to be able to earn some additional income.
Absolutely. I think it's important to understand that the plan that we advocate, it's a simple 7-step process, but it's a process that has been designed and developed by industry experts, people who absolutely know what they're doing and what they're talking about, and who have a history of making money. I mean, after all, these are the kind of people that you want to listen to when it comes to your finances. And the plan that we advocate was developed by the designer of one of the largest financial educational companies in the entire world. It's a plan that's been taught around the world to millions of people and has helped people eliminate millions and millions of dollars in debt. And people, by connecting with the Wealth and Freedom Network, have the opportunity to personally work with not only within this system, but with that actual individual. And I think that's very important and something that we uniquely bring to the table.
Wow. So that's it seems like a very well organized system
Absolutely.
and well thought out process. And I'm sure that it takes a little bit of time to walk everyone through each one of those steps. So, let's just say for our listeners or our viewers today, you know, just give them something that they can kind of take away to start making an impact. So, what are some simple tips that people could implement today that will begin to change their financial future?
Well, I think the first thing is, as Quentin was talking about in regards to those 7 steps, the first thing that people need to do is assess. We need to find out where we are right now. And so, with your finances, you need to take a look at what it is that I'm doing right now and assess my financial situation. Then the next step after that is to develop a plan. But you can't develop a plan and get to where you're going if you don't first find out where you are. And so we need to accurately and honestly assess where we are. Now that requires tools, and that's something else that we really need to talk about, because having the proper tools in place becomes very important. And with the Wealth and Freedom Network, we offer people access to all of the tools that they're going to need to accurately and honestly assess their financial situation of where they are right now. But not only that, to put a plan in place of how they're going to get from this financial problem situation to a point of financial freedom, ultimately to a point of financial independence, with all of the steps that Quentin has outlined. So that becomes very important.
Absolutely, I completely agree, and I think that from really picking up where Mr. Collins left off, the next thing is really to help them to focus on their debt. I think the average amount of debt in the average household today is over $20,000. And for a lot of us, we don't have the money to be able to pay that off immediately. A lot of us really need a plan that's not only going to help us to stay on track with paying the debt off, but pay it off rigorously and aggressively. Because as we know, with debt you have interest, and the longer you take to pay it off, the more interest you pay over time. And so we really help people to put them in a place where, as soon as they get this plan that we have through the Wealth and Freedom Network, they will be able to see results immediately, right away. be able to pay off credit cards in a matter of months, in a matter of weeks, but then also help them to be able to take that money and now begin to save it and put that into a savings for emergencies and things of that nature. And so once we really help people to do that, simply by eliminating the debt that people have, they can already begin to feel the weight lifted off of their shoulders. They can begin to have peace of mind each and every single month and really not have to worry about trying to make those dollars stretch as much as they had to previously.
That's exciting, and it really sounds like what the Wealth and Freedom Network has in place is really making a difference in people's lives.
Yes.
So I think the final question that I would ask you is, and both of you can answer this, but what made you get into helping people with their finances?
Well, I know for me, it really was my own personal situation. With my wife and I, we been married for about 3 years, and as many couples, who don't really have the financial tools and expertise starting off, we really found ourselves in a position where we had more debt than we had actual money coming in. And, my wife was working a job she really didn't enjoy. And so, for us, we really were seeking an opportunity, seeking a way out. And when we partnered with the Wealth and Freedom Network and Mr. Collins and other leaders, what we really found was something that actually made an impact, and made an impact in just a few months. My wife, came off of her job, not shortly after, just a few weeks later after getting started. And then when we saw that, we said, we know a lot of people that are just like us. And because we really have hearts and passion for helping people, it just made sense to help people in an area where just about everyone has that same exact need, getting rid of debt, saving money, but then also being able to live a lifestyle that's the one that we want to live.
Mm-hmm. For me, my wife and I have been in traditional businesses now for um, almost 16 years. It has been almost that long since we've had to use a credit card. Debt is the number one problem in the American household today. Out of all of the problems that we have, and there are some other problems that families have, absolutely, and this is not to discount those, but debt is a problem that's common to every household in America. With the government report about the home foreclosures and 90% of homes being able to be saved with just the additional $500 a month that Quentin was talking about. That's a debt problem. The student loan debt that he was average 20,000. That's a debt problem. People have only about 40% of Americans have $500 or more in their savings account, and the average debt at the time of death is over $200,000. That is a problem that's common to everybody, And so when we see this need and you find a solution, you want to share it. You want to tell it with everybody. We just came out of the Christmas holiday, one of the songs that comes out of Christmas, go tell it on the mountain. You want to shout it, that there is a better way. There's a solution to the problem that you have, and you don't have to live the way that you do live. Because it's not the fault of the homeowner. It's not the fault of the family. We don't know. Nobody told us. We've been taught a different way. Out of all of the 14,000 hours that we've spent from kindergarten to high school, not one of those hours has taught us how not to be in debt. And now we have a way of eliminating that problem, showing people not only is there another way, but there's absolutely a better way for people to live. And the Wealth and Freedom Network and the vehicles that we've partnered with put people in a position, and it's a position of power. And it's not a position that people usually have in their lives. We've been told what to do, where to go, how long to stay. And now we have that ability to be empowered in our own lives, to put ourselves in the driver's seat, to take control of our finances, which really puts us in control of every area of our lives, And so that's what I'm passionate about. And I want to see people free. I want to see people out of the slavery of debt. I want to see the collar of debt from around their neck, and I want them to be able to have the options and the choices that people really deserve in life. They deserve to be able to go where they want to go, do what they want to do, stay as long as they want. They deserve, but all of our decisions our financial decisions are driven based on debt. We're servicing debt. We're spending too much time. We're spending too much energy, too much thought, and we're certainly spending too much money, all in servicing debt. And so we have the ability to help people change their lives and put themselves in a much better position, and they can do it relatively quickly.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time. Absolutely, some tremendously valuable information that's been shared with all of us today, and sounds like some great things are happening at the Wealth and Freedom Network, and we know that there's more to come. If you'd like more information about how you can get connected with Mr. Collins or Mr. Rogers to begin to get your financial situation straight, you can contact them either by getting in contact with the person that shared this video with you, or you can go to www.wealthfreedomnetwork.com. We'll also make sure that that link is available in the description for this video. But until next time, this is the Wealth and Freedom Network, where we live life by design, not by default.